Well, today is Columbus Day, a federal holiday here in the U.S., but one with a troubled history. You see, in 1492, when Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue with 3 ships that left from Spain, his Spaniards brought along with them centuries of death, disease, and oppression of the people who lived in America well before they actually came. So year after year, the question pops up. What is Christopher Columbus's legacy, and how should we mark this day? One man says that this day has been unjustly criticized. Tom Bowden joins me now to explain why Christopher Columbus wasn't as bad as history portrays him. He's an analyst at the Ayn Rand Center and also the author of the book, The Enemies of Christopher Columbus. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's start off with, what is Columbus Day to you?
Well, Columbus Day, to me, it's an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to the core values of Western civilization. And I'm talking about the civilization that Columbus brought with him to the New World. It was in a state of transition and improvement at that time. But I'm talking about values like reason, science, technology, individual rights, capitalism, the Industrial Revolution, and eventually, of course, the United States of America. Columbus found a new home for Western civilization, enabled it to spread to North America and flourish here. The reason to celebrate Columbus Day is to recommit to that civilization, because the ideas of Western civilization are what allows us to look back 400 or 500 years ago and say, racism, robbery, forced religious conversion, slavery, all these things are evil. These things were taken for granted in human history, but Western civilization has developed to the point, even though we still have flaws, it's only those ideas that allow us to look back and say those are evils, and we have a better way. We can live together as brothers with individual rights. We can create wealth rather than robbing and taking it from other people. So we need to cherish Western civilization and celebrate it without whitewashing or evading what Columbus did and the conquistadors and so forth, the bad things that they did.
At the same time, Tom, it sounds like you're describing Independence Day when you say that we need to come together and celebrate our values. Isn't that the point of the 4th of July?
Columbus Day used to be a patriotic holiday. The Pledge of Allegiance was written for the 400th anniversary, 1892. It used to be a patriotic holiday because Christopher Columbus discovered America, and he really did. He discovered it for Europe. He was a great mariner and explorer who was able to figure out with great courage how to sail to the Western Hemisphere and how to get back. He went back to Europe and told everybody how to do that and unleashed this settlement wave that without which the United States of America couldn't exist, greatest country in the history of the world. So that's why it should be a patriotic holiday. But you're right, Independence Day is more specifically for the values of America.
Well, and the other point to bring up when we're saying it is a patriotic holiday is that the U.S. is not the only one to celebrate Columbus Day. It's actually celebrated all around the world. So when you say it's a patriotic holiday, do you mean patriotic for the U.S., especially considering the fact that he didn't actually step foot in North America?
Absolutely.
Or a patriotic holiday for all?
It should be a holiday for everybody, because the values of Western civilization have been improperly tied up with race and ethnicity. They're not white values. They're objectively good values for everybody on Earth. It's better to be rich and safe and healthy than it is to be poor, sick, and afraid. It's better to be in a modern civilization than in a primitive civilization. And that's true for everybody of any gender, skin color, ethnicity, whatever.
So
which is why Western civilization has spread from Europe to America and all over the world. Even Bono, says you can dump a lot of dollars on Africa in terms of symptom relief, but the real cure is capitalism. If you've got Bono saying that, that tells you that we're making progress.
So you are arguing that Christopher Columbus Day is bigger than the man himself, is that correct?
It absolutely is, but you don't want to avoid celebrating his virtues. He had a lot of flaws too, and he did some horrible things, and so did the conquistadors who came after him. But the real focus should be on North America, where there was no gold and people to enslave and so forth. North America and America was not stolen from the Indian. There was nothing here that they had created to rob. It was built by the European settlers who came and built it.
So what about the idea of a Leif Erikson Day? Is it unfair to hold Christopher Columbus, is what you're arguing, to a higher standard, considering the fact that he is one of two people with a national holiday named after them? The other one is Martin Luther King Jr.
Well, yeah, I'm all for holidays for celebrating great people. If you want to have Aristotle's birthday, Isaac Newton's birthday, John Locke's birthday, Ayn Rand's birthday, you can multiply celebrations of great people.
But specifically focusing on federal holidays, these two, only two people have been named with a federal holiday after them. So should we not hold Christopher Columbus and his actions subsequent to his discovering the Americas to a higher standard?
Well, sure. I mean, he was a great man for what he achieved. Not everything that he did was good, but the reason he's known to history is not because he enslaved some Indians or was responsible for bringing some people who killed some people. It was because he discovered America and because this new land gave birth to the United States of America, and that's where the focus needs to be.
Thank you so much for coming in and sharing this different light on Christopher Columbus Day. Tom Bowden, author of The Enemies of Christopher Columbus and analyst at the Ayn Rand Center. Thank you so much.
Happy Columbus Day.